All right, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. We're going to be looking at cholesterol concerns. I thought this would be a good topic. On Monday's call of this week, Dane Org talked about one of his friends who's on cholesterol medication and wasn't really, too pleased about it. And I thought it would be a good topic to look at for this Saturday morning, especially when there's a natural alternative to statin drugs. Now, I'm starting with some national trends on the use of statin drugs. This was taken out of JAMA. This was from 2017, so it's about 6 years old. And you can see that when they did what they looked at the use of statin drugs, they found that back in the period from 2002 to 2003, about 18% of the US population over the age of 40 was on a statin drug. And 10 years later, 2012, 2013, almost 28% of the US population of adults over age of 40 were on a statin drug. So I wanted to pull up some current information, and here's from the American Heart Association. 1 in 4 Americans over the age of 40 take statins to lower their cholesterol and reduce their risk for heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular disease, according to the American Heart Association, making them one of the most commonly prescribed drugs. So when you look at that percentage, if you're at an event, and most times when we go to events, given our ages, most of the people at that event are most likely in their 40s or above. Every 10 people that you see, most likely 2 out of 10 are on some type of statin drug. And so I thought it would be useful to look at statin drugs, why they're concerned. I mean, they're exceptionally, they're very good at lowering cholesterol. All right. The way that statin drugs work is your liver produces cholesterol. And a statin drug interferes with your liver's ability to produce statin drug, or I should say cholesterol. So it works really effective in lowering cholesterol within a person's body. The problem is that the place where the statin drug works to interfere with the process of the liver creating cholesterol, it also interferes with the liver's ability to create coenzyme Q10. And coenzyme Q10 is absolutely necessary as an energy source for the heart. And so when people use statin drugs, yes, they definitely see a reduction in their cholesterol levels, but they don't realize that they're also seeing a drastic reduction in their CoQ10 production, which ends up affecting their heart. So as I've seen with the use of statin drugs, over time, there's been a corresponding increase in congestive heart failure through the use of statin drugs because of the lack of coenzyme Q10. And you'll see a lot of times today when a doctor orders statin drugs for an individual to take, they'll either recommend a statin drug that has a CoQ10 in it, or they'll recommend that they take coenzyme Q10 with their statin because they understand the side effects that are being created by the statin drug. Now, when you go down through here, here's a great article from Dr. Marcola, 5 great reasons why you should not take statins. So the first one we've already talked about, statins reduce CoQ10. The second reason is statins reduce vitamin K2. We're all familiar with vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is in ProArginine Plus. Vitamin K2 works with vitamin D3 to regulate the release of calcium out of the bones so that you can properly regulate calcium levels in the bloodstream. So when you reduce vitamin K2 in the body, you increase the probability that you're going to have calcification of soft tissues, especially in the vascular system. Number 3, statins reduce ketone production. Ketones are used by the brain for energy. Number 4, increases the risk for cancer, breast cancer in women, prostate cancer in men. And then he's got a couple other things, increased risk for diabetes, muscular issues like pain and muscle wasting, increased risk for cataracts. And he also talks about there are some neurodegenerative diseases that are now associated with the use of statin drugs, like Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's. And so what they've found that as people have used statin drugs, they've increased the potential for these neurological diseases. And part of the reason why is you have to understand that cholesterol is the glue that holds you together. If you didn't have cholesterol, you would be a puddle on the floor right now. And so cholesterol is necessary for all membranes to function properly. And when you look at your brain, half your brain weight is cholesterol. And so as you reduce your cholesterol levels, you then reduce the amount of cholesterol in your body, which then affects membrane integrity and can lead to some of these neurodegenerative diseases. So what's the natural alternative for cholesterol? Well, that's the bergamot fruit. And in the bergamot fruit, there's a specific enzyme that, or I should say a specific ingredient that blocks an enzyme in the liver that is necessary for the production of LDL cholesterol. But it does it without side effects, which means that this fruit and the natural ingredient from this fruit naturally helps the liver to lower its production of cholesterol, but at the same time does not affect the liver's ability to create CoQ10. So you have a very positive way for helping a person from a natural standpoint to get similar effects to their statin drugs, but without the side effects that come with the statin drugs. And we'll talk about metabolic LDL in a little bit, but what I want is it's really important to understand that this is not pseudoscience with regards to the bergamot fruit. This is real health science, and here are a couple examples of well-respected organizations that see the benefit of bergamot extract in lowering cholesterol. The first one comes from the Cleveland Clinic. Here in the United States, the Cleveland Clinic is most likely the most respected organization in America when it comes to heart health. Most likely has an even greater reputation than the American Heart Association. So when the Cleveland Clinic states the following, the study researchers also reported that adding bergamot allowed them to cut by half participants' dosage of the cholesterol drug, I'm not going to know if I say this correctly, rosuvastatin, without reducing its effectiveness. And what they did in the study is they used 1,000 milligrams of bergamot extract over a 1-month period. And you can see that the participants' cholesterol dropped from an average of 278 milligrams per deciliter of blood to 191. Again, that's 279. I mean, that's 50% cut in the amount of cholesterol just by adding a natural ingredient to the drug, which allowed the drug to be more effective, which means that they could reduce the amount that a person had to take to be able to see results. When you look at the American College of Cardiology, you can see that they looked at the role of nutraceuticals in statin intolerant patients. There's people who cannot take statin drugs because of the side effects. And so there are natural ingredients that a person could use to help them in lowering their cholesterol levels. And you can see on the right hand, there's a table, product, class level, dose, and then the amount that it lowered the low density lipoprotein or the bad cholesterol. And you can see that it's listed alphabetically. The third one down where I have the red arrow shows bergamot fruit extract. And the amount that was given was 1,300 milligrams per deciliter. And you can see that it reduced cholesterol levels by 61 milligrams per deciliter. So that was a significant reduction. And when you look at all the ones that are on this page, most likely the only one that comes close to bergamot is red yeast rice in its ability. But if you take the average of the range, again, the bergamot is still most likely a better choice. So bergamot fruit extract is a great way for a person to naturally lower their cholesterol. Again, cardiology, has a great study done where they looked at the use of bergamot polyphenol fraction in helping to, again, reduce the need for cholesterol or reduce the need for statin drugs in helping people to positively see their cholesterol levels be lowered. Now, given that information, when Dr. Tripp was with Synergy Worldwide, he and the researchers at the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation began a process of looking at how they could take the bergamot fruit extract and then not just leave it at bergamot fruit extract, but could they enhance its effect by adding other what are called antioxidant ingredients, things that have what are called high ORAC values. ORAC is just another way of saying its ability to prevent free radical damage. And so what they ended up with a blend of 9 different fruits and vegetables that when they were properly blended together with the bergamot fruit extract, they synergistically work together to have an even better benefit, meaning that the bergamot fruit extract worked even to a higher extent than by itself, and the antioxidant ingredients, the 9 different fruits and vegetables, had an even higher ORAC value than when you looked at them by themselves individually. And so that became the basis for a product, or I should say a study. I'll come to that in a little bit, but that became their study. They did a peer-reviewed clinical study using that formulation. They got positive results in lowering cholesterol levels, especially for people who are diabetic and had cholesterol issues. And then that formulation that they had, F105, I think it was, is what became Metabolic LDL. And it's a pretty simple product that you can take. You take 2 capsules with dinner. Now, if a person wanted to match what was done at the Cleveland Clinic, they were using 1,000 milligrams of bergamot fruit extract. Now, they were using 1,000 milligrams of just bergamot fruit extract. I can't tell you whether this would be equal to that, but if a person wanted to match the study that was done at Cleveland Clinic, then they could take 4 capsules per day instead of 2. Again, I would take 2 capsules at lunch and 2 capsules with dinner. Or if they don't do lunch, then 2 in the morning with breakfast, 2 in the morning or 2 in the evening with dinner. And, there's definite benefits from the metabolic LDL. It modulates oxidation of LDL cholesterol. One of the things, when you look at the history of cholesterol, first there was the idea that there's good cholesterol, HDL, and bad cholesterol, LDL. Why is HDL good? Well, it's high density lipoprotein, doesn't penetrate the cellular wall, and picks up low density lipoprotein to take it back to the liver for additional processing. So you have this high density lipoprotein, good cholesterol, low density lipoprotein, bad cholesterol. And so everyone would get upset from the medical community that if your LDL cholesterol was above a certain level, it's like, okay, you need to bring that down because that's a prescription for heart disease. Well, what they found is LDL cholesterol is not the issue. What the issue is oxidized LDL cholesterol. So oxidized LDL cholesterol requires a lot of free radicals to be floating around. Those free radicals then steal an electron from a cholesterol molecule, which then causes it to become oxidized. And then the oxidized LDL is what becomes the problem in creating plaque buildup within the vascular system. So if you can lower oxidized LDL in the body, you can then increase the probability that that person's cardiovascular system will stay healthy. Supports healthy cholesterol levels, features a powerful proprietary oxidative blend. Now, if we go back to our Synergy family, and if you come to the home page and scroll down, you will see that we have a specific tab for cholesterol concerns. You can click here to enter, takes you to our dedicated page for metabolic LDL and addressing cholesterol concerns. And there's a lot of great resources on this page. And what I want to do, I want to finish up with just showing you these resources, because most of the people on today's program are using the Legacy 2020 app. And if you come across a person who has cholesterol issues, they're on a statin drug, they would like to see if they could find something that would be a natural way to address their issue, there's a couple of key resources on this page that you could send to them. You could load these things into your Legacy 2020 app and then have them available based upon a person's need. And the first one is this video. I've never created a video for metabolic LDL because I never felt the need to, because Synergy Worldwide has what I think one of the best videos they've ever created to helping people understand this product and how effective it could be in helping people to be able to address their cholesterol issues. It's short, less than 3 minutes. I'm going to play it so that you can see it, because maybe you don't remember this video. Maybe you've never seen it before, but this video would be excellent to be able to share with people who have a cholesterol concern and don't want to go on statins or would like to find an alternative to their statin product. Here we go.
To create Metabolic LDL, our newest patent-pending formula, Synergy used a scientific approach that began with in-depth studies of circulatory health. This led us to focus on the molecular activity of cholesterol and cholesterol oxidation in the cardiovascular system. Not long ago, cholesterol was generally considered bad. Then, scientific discoveries created a distinction between good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol. Now, emerging science is shining a spotlight on oxidized LDL cholesterol as what really indicates your level of cardiovascular health. Cholesterol can become oxidized when exposed to free radicals within the body. This oxidized cholesterol can affect the healthy function of the circulatory system. Reducing cholesterol oxidation helps to support healthy cardiovascular aging and circulatory function. Synergy scientists began analyzing plants that were known for positively affecting cholesterol production and oxidation. They were able to see on a molecular level that the Bergamot Orange had the power to support cholesterol levels already in the normal range. Bergamot oranges are bursting with polyphenols, naturally occurring antioxidants that scavenge free radicals from the body. Synergy sources its bergamot extract from the Calabria region of Italy, the ideal environment for these oranges to fully develop their active ingredients. Only the organically grown, hand-harvested bergamot oranges of Calabria are known to have the high levels of polyphenols necessary to provide cardiovascular benefits. And having been clinically studied, Synergy's source of patented bergamot extract is the most proven available. But we didn't stop there. Recognizing the potential of bergamot, our scientists then began studying the effects of combinations. They looked at how other antioxidant phytonutrients worked with the bergamot extract. They discovered a powerful blend of antioxidants that synergistically enhance bergamot's effect in the body. This is how the exclusive patent-pending formula of metabolic LDL was born. Finally, Synergy put it to the test. Clinical studies were conducted, and metabolic LDL was proven safe and effective. The results of the study showed clearly that metabolic LDL naturally supports healthy cholesterol levels already in the normal range and modulates the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. Support healthy cardiovascular aging with Metabolic LDL, another exclusive product from Synergy Worldwide that helps you unlock your potential and achieve elite health.
So that video was produced by Synergy Worldwide. I think it's one of the best videos they've ever created. And it's a video that you could load. Again, all you do is right click, copy video URL so that you can see what it looks, what it is. You can paste it onto a new browser window. You can then type it into your app, or you can use your app. Again, for those that are technologically savvy in how they use their phone, again, you can come to this page and be able to lift the video URL and put it into your app. Now, there's also, for people who are interested, there's this one here, Metabolic LDL Clinical Study. Again, this is produced by Synergy Worldwide, and you could then send this link to the PDF where they can pull it up on their phone and they can look at the research and they can actually see the clinical study that was done and how it affected people's cholesterol levels, especially oxidized cholesterol. And there's you can see that there's one level of people who saw reduction, but when you looked at people who had A1Cs above 5.4, they were diabetics. So their A1C levels were above a certain level. You can see that they had even greater benefits by using metabolic LDL than people who weren't dealing with diabetic issues. So again, depending upon the person that you're talking to, a lot of times people have more than one health issue going on. And if they're both diabetic and have cholesterol concerns, metabolic LDL becomes an even greater product that could be of benefit to them. And you can send them the link to this PDF so they can actually see the benefit and what the clinical study showed for the people who participated. Now, before I open this up to any questions that you might have, there's also a thing that we did that is our own design, natural alternative to statin drugs. Metabolic LDL is a patent pending and clinically studied nutritional supplement specifically designed to support healthy cholesterol levels. It uses bergamot fruit extract to naturally block an enzyme the liver needs to produce LDL cholesterol, but without any side effects. Plus a unique combination of 9 fruit and plant extracts with high ORAC antioxidants to help prevent vascular inflammation while helping to maintain normal blood sugar levels. And then what we did on this document is we looked at the top 9 side effects of statin drugs. And how did metabolic LDL compare? So the first one was deplete the body of CoQ10, a biochemical that's critical to heart health. Statin drugs, yes, it does deplete. Metabolic LDL, no, it does not. Muscle soreness, yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Muscle wasting, yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Potential for memory loss, yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Higher risk of developing diabetes, yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Inhibits the synthesis of vitamin K2, which is needed to protect your arteries from calcification. Yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Increased risk for breast cancer. Yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. Increased risk for prostate cancer. Yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. There we go. And increased risk for cataracts. Yes for statin drugs, no for metabolic LDL. And for all the side effects, you'll notice that at the end of each one, there's either a plus sign, an asterisk, or a double plus. And so down at the bottom, it gives the reference for that statement, who it came from. Dr. Stephan Sinatra, extremely popular and well-known cardiologist. Johns Hopkins, Dr. Marcola. So again, you go back to our page, And there's just a lot of great things. If a person actually wanted to look at the peer-reviewed clinical study that was published, you can click on that link, or you can send that link to the person and they can actually see the study. So what was called F105 in the study what became metabolic LDL. And a person can go through this study and see. So again, you have scientific documentation of a peer-reviewed clinical study that was used to show the effectiveness of F105. That is what became metabolic LDL. So in Synergy Worldwide, we have a great product in metabolic LDL that can help a person who is looking for an alternative that they could potentially use to help them address their cholesterol issues. So with that said, do I have any questions from anyone on today's presentation? You're muted. You'll have to unmute yourself, and I'll take any questions that you might have.
Great stuff, Dan. Thank you. I had a question. You mentioned that it has to be, that it preferably is taken at dinner time. Could you refresh my memory? Why is it better at dinner time than any other time during the day? Or after dinner, I should say.
I honestly don't remember the reason why, doctor, why that was given. I just know that that's what they recommend. My thoughts would be that people are maybe more consistent taking it at dinner time, or the antioxidant properties of the stuff works better in the evening sleep phase than it does during the daytime activities. I'm not sure, David.
Okay. Well, I could tell you I have been taking this product, and certainly my my doctor wanted at some point in time to put me on statins, but no longer. But I appreciate that when I did have that concern a couple of years ago, Dan, and we had that conversation, you told me about this, and it's a wonderful product. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else with any questions before we say goodbye?
Hey, Dan, it's Judy.
Yes, Judy.
Yes, absolutely. It's so great to be refreshed and given more hints on how to talk to customers when they have cholesterol concerns, and the 9 reasons or the 5 reasons or whichever you want to use on the harmfulness of statin drugs is just absolutely awesome. And to address David's question, I agree with you. I believe you're right. And if I remember correctly, it's something also about the healing properties of sleep. Something to do with that is that in the rest time, that for some reason the metabolic LDL does better absorption during rest.
Okay,
So
good. And Judy, one of the things you talked about was, like anything, when we're with people, and we're what, 3 years now out of COVID-19, so people are getting back together, and I know that there's new strains of COVID-19 popping up all the time, but it doesn't seem that people have reverted back to getting together and going to meetings and going to places where people gather. So it would be interesting that if you're in something like that, you could just offhand say to a person, hey, I just read something where 25% of Americans over the age of 40 are on a statin. Just out of curiosity, do you use a statin drug? And something like that, where you kind of like take the temperature of every person you run into in that event, and just ask them that simple, just make that simple statement with a question. I was reading today, or I was reading last week, that over the age of 40 are on a statin drug. Just out of curiosity, are you one of them? And see what that does in terms of creating a conversation that allows you to then have the potential to suggest to a person that there might be an alternative to what they're doing. Just a thought. Anyone else with any questions or comments before we say goodbye?
Hey, this is Bob. No questions, Dan. Just really appreciate it. Great information. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.